Welcome everyone. Today finds me in Epcot. And it is just a few days before the Food and Wine. So we're going to go in and we're going to look at Food and Wine from a little different perspective, because we all know it has food and wine. But we're going to look at all the peripheral things. What's the environment like? What kind of merchandise do they have? What's the atmosphere? Join me. Holy cow! Look at the line for Spaceship Earth. I always recommend going to Spaceship Earth a little bit later, not your first thing upon entering. It's what everybody sees, so everybody wants to stop there right away. It's iconic. It is the symbol that represents Epcot, so it's a thing everyone wants to see, but there's going to be plenty of time for you to see it. I don't often start at mouse gear, but we're going to today. Now this is fun. Madame Leota's tombstone. It would be really cool if they could get the eyes to open and close just like the ones at Haunted Mansion. What else do they have? Hand towels of Leota. Leota apron. What do you think's in here? Tomb Suite 2. I don't know. Let's put it up here and take a look. Oh, look at that. It's a tombstone. Here lies good old Fred. A great big rock fell on his head. Rest in peace. I like how they're shaped like old-fashioned coffins. And this looks like it's just a knick-knack box, a jewelry box. Oh, and look at this. They have a little quote for Leota. Here's a Haunted Mansion hourglass. I wonder how many times those get turned over in a day. I really love Haunted Mansion, so that's why this attracted my attention. I know there's a Haunted Mansion shop I was just at yesterday, but I'm attracted to it anyways. I just had to stop. Now I have one of these frames for my Haunted Mansion picture. The one that starts out as me, and as you walk past, it turns it into a ghoul. And we looked at these at the Haunted Mansion store, the tree ornaments, because nothing says Happy Holidays like a ghost. Well, there was a ghost of Marley and the ghost of Christmas past, present, future, right? There's a hat, but it's not a hat. It has the Figment horns on it. And of course, Figment plushies. And here is an entire Pixar area dominated by Toy Story. There's Rex and Jessie. And the Peapods. I don't know if it was intentional when they made that movie, but it sure is a marketer's dream, isn't it? I think she's incredible. That might be a little difficult for someone to wear, a little embarrassing for some people. There's Mr. Incredible's car. Really fun stuff. Makes me wish I was 8 years old again. But I didn't see anything specific to Food and Wine. Maybe when you get to the shops at the beginning of World Showcase. And Agent P's World Showcase Adventure is still closed. I just can't catch a break when it comes to that one. I have some of these signs on the wall in my basement. If you pay attention sometimes to the background, you will see them. Really large signs. They're about 4 or 5 feet tall. And here's some really nice Halloween merchandise. I didn't think they would have this out yet in the stores. I knew they would at Magic Kingdom because of the Mickey's Not So Scary. But it's nice to see it here too. It's nice to have that leading up to the Halloween season. Happy Halloween. That's a really cool shirt. I'm not big on t-shirts, but that's a nice one if you like to wear them. And they have all your favorite characters in costume. Now this is interesting. Minnie as a sorceress. So you have Mickey as a sorcerer. Of course he's a vampire in Halloween. But you can get Mickey as a sorcerer throughout the year. This would be a good companion piece. And here's some more Halloween for the little ones. Hey, pumpkin. And they have tiny, itty-bitty trick-or-treat buckets with candy corn inside them. Those are pretty cute. Here's a jack-o'-lantern Mickey ears hat. Here's Halloween Mickey ears. Those are really cute. If you're gonna go out for Halloween, that's a really nice one. Countdown to Halloween. And here is a Nightmare Before Christmas. I guess that's a Sally ears, maybe. Very neat. There's Mickey as Jack Skellington. Ooh, and this has a lot of substance to it. It's ceramic. It's a ceramic car coffee cup. $21.99. There's really a lot of fun Halloween stuff out, like this light up trick-or-treat bucket. It's a Mickey jack-o'-lantern. Fun Halloween stuff. I wasn't expecting to see all of this. I thought I might get a jump on some of the food and wine merchandise for 2018. I'm not seeing any of it out. So maybe they're really going to hold off and not put it out until Thursday when the event actually begins. But I'm not licked yet. Let's try this shop. Here we go. Now we're talking. Although that is not really food and wine, that just says Epcot World Showcase. I find this kind of amusing that they sell moonshine at Disney World. So, I thought it was worth a shot, but they just said they're not putting it out yet. They're not going to put it out until the event starts. So, maybe the night before? What do you think? Oh well, we're here now, so let's take a look around World Showcase. Let's see if anything's playing in the garden at the UK. I saw a crowd gathering and it's not for a concert. It's for Mary Poppins. Hello, Mary Poppins. And look at this, they have Mrs. Potts and Chip. Even though that story takes place in France, I guess she is British. She does have a British accent in the show. Sometimes I guess you just have to look for the connections, right? So apparently Alice meets out front here and Mary Poppins meets in the back. I have seen Alice meeting and greeting over here. In fact, I've seen a lot of the Winnie the Pooh characters meeting down here at the boardwalk entrance to Epcot. It's right across the river from France. Japan must be having their drum show right now. Even though I'm several lands away, you can really hear those drums beating. Right over there is where I saw Pooh Bear and Rabbit, who you don't often see. And Piglet. We're doing a meet and greet. I wonder why this is partitioned off, because it looks pretty darn festive in there. Uh-oh, do you hear what I hear? The whistle? That means that one of my favorite busker or sidewalk shows are ready to start. It's in France, and it's the guy that piles up all the chairs, the waiter and the chef. Let's go over there and see how the show starts. We've seen it end a lot on here, haven't we? So now they're just building the tip, as they say in the world of showbiz. That means they're getting a crowd together. It has absolutely nothing to do with tipping them. And look at this, they got little kids sitting down in the chairs. I've ever seen that entire show from start to finish. So that was really fun to see. I don't know if I'll show the whole thing on this video, but I might post it as its own video. It was that interesting, but I know some of you that are watching this might not want to watch an entire sidewalk show. And as we look across the lake, you can see the Guardians of the Galaxy. That building is so large. Look at it compared to Spaceship Earth. I just don't know how they're going to make that fit into the environment of Epcot. It'll be really interesting to see how it comes together. And of course, here are some of the food and wine buildings. You saw that in some of my previous videos. There's a big cluster of them all in a row here. But they're not open yet. We're just going to have to wait. And here's where all that drumming was taking place that you heard earlier. But now the drums sit quiet. In one of my recent videos, you might remember me saying I'd never been to the American Pavilion restaurant. But right now, here is the American Pavilion stand for the Food and Wine Festival. August 30th, it opens. And this is kind of nice because it has the picnic tables and it's in the shade. It's under cover. And I guess if it rains like it did yesterday, this would be a nice place to sit as well. And here is all the patriotic red, white, and blue. And what's more all-American than Mickey Mouse? Hey, maybe I found a replacement for when my hat gets worn out. I think that would be a little too much, even for me. Let's visit Italy. I don't think we've ever walked down here together. And I still haven't eaten. I see they have a pizzeria. There they have drinks, rosé, Bellini, cocktails, Moscato, Merlot. And look at Poseidon. Or is that Neptune? I don't know. They're both pretty much the same guy, different cultures. Let's take a look at the restaurant menu. Too much to really read thoroughly. You can see they have a lot of different things. Antipasta, pastas, soups, pizzas. And they even have a kids menu, even though in my mind, a lot of this Italian stuff is for kids. Pizza, right? It's just a little more than I want right now when it's hot and humid. I just am not feeling like a hot slice of pizza, or even a hot plate of lasagna for that matter. But maybe I'll come back. Then they have the wine cellar. And oh, look at this. They have food here as well. So this is a complete restaurant. I'm telling you, when I see some of this stuff, meatballs Parmesan for $16, that's not bad. I'm also seeing some panini. I even saw a steak. Where did that go to now? And there's some lasagna, spaghetti. There's our 12-ounce New York strip. So there's 3 sit-down restaurants back here. You know, once again, very similar things. It looks very, boy, that's almost calling out to me. But it seems like it'd be pretty heavy for the middle of the day. I'm just looking for something a little lighter, a little cooler. A sandwich, a salad, a wrap, something like that. I would make a mistake if I bought something like this.
Why?
Yeah, I wouldn't get the right thing. I would want one that's... You know what? I would get one that smells like pizza. That's what I would do. There is no way I'm ever going to buy perfume, whether she's helping me or not, because I wasn't joking. I probably would get something that smelled like pizza. She was pushing pretty hard to get me to buy some perfume. Not me. What would I do with it? One of the things they do during food and wine is they hide little Remy's all over the park. You know Remy the little rat? And they have just little characters of him hidden. And the reason I brought that up is I remember last year they had one hidden here in this train exhibit or display or whatever you want to call this. I'm betting the Remy's are not out yet. I bet they put those out at the middle of the night before this opens. And as we come around the corner from Germany, there is Snow White. And right next to her are several more of the food and wine buildings. There's a brewer's collection. That's where you can get samples of different beers. And there's several more over here. I kind of wonder if they might have a soft opening Wednesday night, the day before it's to open. They do that sometimes, and it would be nice if they did. It'd be nice to get a little jump on some of this, wouldn't it? The last 2 times you came here with me, this drawbridge was up, remember? And we saw all of the things from the fireworks coming through from this river. And here's another food and wine building. I was here almost a month ago, maybe 3 weeks, and they were first putting all these buildings up. There's a lot of work that goes into setting up for this festival. It does last 45 days, so it's a good chunk of their year. I have an appearance by Gear Ness, a fragrance designer. Well, I just can't get away from fragrances and perfumes today, can I? You know, I haven't seen the Vikings around in quite some time when I've been through Norway. And once again, I don't see them. But I'd like to engage them on video at some point. We'll see. The week's still young. And here's where Donald usually meets and greets at Epcot. Remember last time he was inside the Mexican Pavilion. And that was pretty unusual. It was the first and only time I've ever seen him inside. This is usually where he parks himself. And now that Maelstrom is gone, I think this is my favorite ride in Epcot. As a matter of fact, let's go on it now. And here are the 3 Caballeros. And look at this, it says they're in concert tonight. I bet we'll see them. They really are the stars of the Mexican show. And there's a restaurant.
To play as we go, we sing and we samba, we shout. What means I cannot? I don't know.
That crazy, lovesick Donald. What would Daisy say if she knew he carried on like that when he's on tour? And here is a Walt Disney World survey marker. They're all over the park, but it's kind of interesting to check these out every now and then. And here are a few more food and wine buildings. You know, seeing all of these food and wine festival buildings closed are making me awfully hungry. So I think I'm going to head to Future World and specifically go to the land where they have a lot of different places to eat and get myself some lunch. Here's a new test track area. I was hoping I could get a peek at it, but it's completely hidden by tarps. And this side as well. This is looking at it from the back, coming out of Mouse Gears. Now, you can see a little bit through this scrim, and they're just a bunch of construction workers. You can't really see what's taking place inside there, can you? That's it. Not much to see at all. Let's go on test track. It's one of the few places here that has a single rider line, so we're going to do it. It's always an awful lot of fun. I don't know how well you can see it in the videos. I guess the closest thing I would compare it to is a roller coaster, although it doesn't really go up and down. It's more about accelerating and fast banks, and it seems like it's slipping and sliding around a little bit. So it really is simulating what's supposed to be testing a car. I think it's fun. If you don't like fast rides, however, it's probably not for you. And here's Cool Wash. I think this is just where you come when you want to cool down. You can get some eats, some drinks, get a fan, and I think sometimes they have a little bit of mist coming down on you. Just leaving Club Cool. You're welcome for me not making you watch me taste all of those flavors of drinks again. I just find it so amusing that everybody is challenging their friends to drink Beverly. And it seems uniform that everybody hates it. Why would they make a drink like that? I don't know, they must like it somewhere, right? This is always so pretty. So serene, peaceful. Right now I'm gonna head to the Visa card holder photo site and see if I can get my picture taken. Remember last time was Mickey and Goofy. Let's see who's there today. Oh, and you can see a whole bunch of food and wine booths set up. It's a garden area over there you can walk through, but everything's blocked off now. So it's right over here. There's ImageWorks. That's when you're coming out of Journey into Imagination. And there is the Pixar Short Film Festival. They usually have really good films in there. And this is where you can come. And if you're a Disney Visa card holder, you can get a really nice picture taken here. So today it was Minnie and Pluto. That's so much fun going in and having that little private showing. It's so quiet and relaxed in there. There's not a big line like most meet and greets. As a matter of fact, nobody was even behind me. So if you want, you can spend a little extra time. So as we head into the land, we can look down over the edge. I wonder what the wait is for Soarin'. Usually that's 45 minutes to an hour. A lot of places to eat. It's nice and cool here. They have a grab and go here too, which is more the type of stuff I was thinking about. Cool, refreshing wraps, salads, cheese and fruit plate. Nice choices. I found a place to sit that is far away from everybody. Take a look. So we can talk a little bit. I ended up getting the Mongolian beef anyway. There it is. There's Mongolian beef with vegetable rice. And then I got my mix, my concoction. I usually fill it up about that far with a diet drink and the rest of the way. So, you know, Diet Coke or Coke Zero or something. Then I put maybe a 20% of it, a sugar Coke. And I find that's all I need. It gives a little bit of sugar without being overwhelming. 25 minutes for Soarin', I think we'll do it. Wow, that is always so much fun. You're not really moving a lot. You're up there and you're just kind of dangling. You're strapped in, you know, but if you're afraid of heights, I could see how they might bother you a little bit. But, you know, they're surrounding you with these images. It looks like you're flying over mountains and over pyramids. Quite the experience. And then they add the smells. So when you're going over the elephants in Africa, you smell the dust and the grass. And when you're going over wherever the tropics are, you can just smell the sea. The only thing they could add, I guess, is 3D, but I don't think it's necessary because it is such a great experience. Okay, it looks to me like it might be raining. Of course, I left my umbrella in the car. I really like visiting the art stores. Now, this is not my style. The other day I was saying I didn't like the stylized prints. $160 for Jack Skellington. I think I mentioned the other day when we were at Magic Kingdom, I have that one. That's really cool because his face comes off and then you can put it into the hat box. And the hat box can spin around and make it disappear. And there's all the busts. I just love this because there's a puzzle built in. Every one of those has a little puzzle underneath that explains who killed whom. You can get the whole set for $95. That's not bad. And out of these I have the quicksand guy and I have the tightrope walker. So I still need to get the other two. And I have the hitchhiking ghosts. Somewhere around here is the organist. If you haven't figured it out, I do like Haunted Mansion. Now the Haunted Mansion is really cool. Let me show you something about that. You can see the dining room here. And you can see the Doom buggy coming up with the portraits. And you can see the graveyard scene. And then there's just the back of the house. Well, what do you do with all those? They plug right into the back of the Haunted Mansion and the whole thing illuminates, it lights up, so you can see all of those things. And there's the Hatbox Ghost. Now, one of my favorite artists is right here. Don Williams, Ducky Williams. You can always tell Don's work because it looks very clean. It looks very much like the animation, like the animated cell. Has a little more texture and shadow and that type of thing, but it's very, very clean and very pure. Most of the things that you see, the tickets and the advertisement, that artwork is done by Ducky. And I met him last year, had a nice long conversation with him. Just a fantastic guy. Engaging, personable, and as you can see, quite talented. Look at that. There's the guy balancing on his chairs. We saw him earlier today. Wouldn't that be cool to be an entertainer that's so iconic that they make artwork based on your act? And there is the Dreamfinder. I love the Dreamfinder. One little spark of inspiration. I suppose next I'll have to start collecting pirates. I hope not, it gets really expensive. And these are Thomas Kincaid's, at least from Thomas Kincaid's studio. And of course he was already a well-known artist, and he started doing the Disney prints. Or at least his studio did, in his style. I like this one. A lot of detail, a lot to look at. These little shadow boxes are really neat. There's several of them. I don't know how well you can tell on video, but they go back pretty deep. There are really little sculptures inside there. The rain is still with us, so I think this is a good place to call this one done. Once again, the day didn't work out like I thought. I thought we might be able to find a lot of little things that would preview the Food and Wine that's opening in just a few days, but they have it locked up tight. They're not going to tip their hand until Thursday. So I think we had a good time anyways. I enjoyed walking around World Showcase. I enjoyed coming down and taking some of the rides, you know, going to Mexico and Test Track and Soarin', and I hope you enjoyed going with me. As always, I love it when you comment down below. When you share the videos, give them a thumbs up, and especially when you subscribe. I'm Mark with the Average Me channel.